This week also at in my MTC Toots group, I sent out a notice that there were some free files available. They're quilting patterns, free quilting patterns at AccuCut. And I think I got 500 quilt patterns, something like that, free. And so I thought I'd just show you with one of the patterns how I use it in Make the Cut. These patterns are all in, well, for the most part, they're PDF files that have vector images in them. Some of the instructions and some of the design pieces are not PDF, but when they're already PDF, that means they're already resizable. I mean, they're vector files. They're resizable, and you can use them to build little projects. So I thought I'd just show you quickly how to bring those PDF files in. You'll notice at the top of our screen we have an icon that says Import PDF, EPS, PSAI. If you click on that, then go to where you saved your quilt pattern. I saved this one. This is Studio Rose Sampler. A lot of quilt patterns just use, some of these block quilts just use basic triangle, circle, square, basic shapes. So the ones I was looking for specifically to make cutting files out of would be maybe some that I could use for appliques on projects, or just use as basic shapes for cutting designs out of paper or vinyl or whatever media. What you do is you click on the name of the file, the PDF file that you saved from the site. And these are, again, free patterns. Then over here in this window, you'll see that this is a multi-page document. The first page is showing, and the first page has the quilt pieces. And the second page has a bunch of assembled designs. So I'm going to show you both. We'll start with the first page. There's a lot of other stuff on that page, but the only thing that shows up is the things that are vectors, which is fine because that's what we want. So once I have that selected, I'm just going to click on Open. I'm going to close this here. And this is what just came in. So it's got some extra things that we don't need. So we're going to get rid of some of the things we don't need. The first thing we can do is click on Split. What this does is separate the different pieces. So now I can click on this and delete it. And I can go to the bottom. I don't need any of this, so I'll just delete it. Now if I click on this, you notice everything is selected, and I don't really need all of that stuff. I need this stuff inside. Well, the easiest way to get rid of this excess shapes here is to click on the layer. That removes the background piece. So now I just got rid of that. This piece still is connected to this one. I might be able to do a split. Yep. That allows me just to eliminate all these extra little pieces. Now, if that didn't work, I would do a break instead. But split works, layer works. Now you notice when this came in that some of them are filled with color, but some of the shapes are not. When they come in with no color, that means that there's an open path somewhere usually, or there's double lines. So I could check for double lines by clicking on the pen tool. And it's not a double line problem. You see the little green dot there and the little green dot there? That means that there's an open path. Those lines are not connected for some reason. Well, the easiest way to get these closed is to select them, I'll hold Shift and select this one, and, well, I'll join them. Now you can go to the wrench icon on the bottom and click Fuse and Weld. and apply, and now they filled in with color. Now these are light. I wonder if there's a double. Oh, there are. If you click on it and hit delete, you get rid of the double lines. I'll undo that because I don't need these. Okay, so you want to watch out for the double lines. And the reason I think I got double lines, and we'll do this again, click on PDF, and click on Studio Rose Sampler. Right here I imported strokes and fills. You can select fills only, or you can select strokes only. And if you do strokes and fills, you get double lines. So let's say we do strokes only and open it. What happens? So we'll get the, well, look at that. We didn't even get all the extra stuff. So what we want to do here again is split. Get rid of these pieces. Select these. If you don't join before you do fuse and weld, it won't work. So use fuse and weld. Now I've got my tolerance set all the way over to the right, or you could click optimal and apply, and that fills it in. So did I get double shapes? Nope. So that's more what we want. That saved us a little work by just importing the lines only. So we have all of these are ready to use. You can send them all to their own layers. Just come over to the default layer, right click, and to each its own. These designs will all go to their own layer. And that way you can color them individually and you can duplicate them. I'll just take away some of these extra ones because we don't need them. You can resize them by selecting and just dragging the corner, or you can resize them by dragging the corner. It keeps their proportions. Again, it doesn't cause any misshaping. And page 2 brought in some interesting arrangements of these same pieces. So if you, let's say you wanted to do a design, I really like this, this one up here. Let's say you really wanted to do this line. I would copy it, click on this page icon here to give me a new page, Control-Shift-V, and paste this on this page. And each one of these shapes now you can cut these. Now you wouldn't want to cut them as they are. You'd probably want to split these apart and move the overlapping pieces around. And I see these are double. These are lines. So when I brought these in, I did the same thing. I should have brought them in as lines. Let's see if on these, each one of these flowers has an open path. So I could again select the flowers. I could right click here to each its own, and every shape will go to its own layer here, which allows me to move them easier than moving them up here. Let's suppose I wanted all the leaves to go on one layer. I could hold my shift key and click on the thumbnail, and it will select every one that I click. So right now I'm clicking on the leaves, holding the shift key, and as I click these, you'll see on the screen over here that it's selecting the images that I'm clicking. And I really like layers because it allows me to work nicely with these. There's a lot of leaves on here. I should show you a smaller one. I don't think I've got them all yet, but what I do have, I can now click this little selection to new layer and then click on the trash can, and all the empty layers are now gone, and all the leaves that I did select are now on the top layer, so I could hide those. And when I know which ones I got and which ones I didn't, I can click over here, hold the shift key, and get them as well. And move them up. And since I have double, you keep them all and just do 2 of these designs as I cut them out. If you wanted to, you could weld them all together, but you notice probably the only thing that I would weld would be maybe welding the leaves to the stem. But this allows you to make new designs, and then you could cut all your pieces separate if you wanted to. Let's go back to layouts. So as I import all of these, there's one way to get rid of double pieces quickly, and that's to select all of it and do a fusion weld. I might have to join first. Let's see if it works. Oh, see, because they're all clear, that let me know that they were double. So if you accidentally get double of everything, fusion weld takes care of it. Then if you need to, you can break these apart using the break, and they all become individual pieces. So whenever anything comes in with no color fill, chances are it's either double or it's got broken lines. So do we have any questions about working with quilt block templates?
There's no questions, but Sue said, wow, this is neat. I have so many AccuQuilt patterns, and changing them this way is so much easier than what she was doing. And Penny says, thank you for the tip on importing the PDF with strokes only. She sometimes gets the double lines and didn't know why or couldn't remember why. So she says, thank you.
So I really think there's a lot of potential for those designs, especially if you look at the ones that are, well, even if you look at the designs that are using triangles and circles and squares, it's gives you a lot of design ideas. So these could be used for pillows or for lampshades or tiles, decorative tiles. It can be used for coasters, even just little designs just like this. And the nice thing is that if you select this design, well, you can use it almost as is, just separating the pieces out, and you're ready to cut. So even all of this was just part of the pattern. It was just showing you how to arrange the pieces to make different designs, and yet they gave you all the cutting pieces that you need. No need to come over here and say, oh, I need 50 of these, and I need 40 of these, and 30 of these. It's already done for you. Each pattern is different. What I found, I don't really need to purchase a lot of dies for quilting unless I need to have 40 of the same thing. Then it's worth it for me to go ahead and get the die. I got the rag quilt die because I needed to make hundreds of squares all the same. And it's really faster to do it on my Big Shot Pro or on my Fiskars Fuse when I can do 8 layers at a time on that. But if I just want to do a single little design out of vinyl or paper or fabric applique for a garment or an apron or something, it really works easily to do it on my cutter. And with 600 patterns to choose from, you can really be choosy. And they're all free. I don't think they're usually free. Some of the collections had prices up to $24.99, and they're free right now. So go to AccuQuilt.com and check it out.
No, well, thank you very much, Julie. Is there
Any
any
other questions?
Yeah, I was just going to ask, is there any other questions for Julie? Or if anybody has a microphone that would like to be unmuted to make a comment or ask a question, go ahead and raise your hand using the hand icon in your GoToWebinar panel. Mina says thank you.
I could show one more thing that was asked today in one of the other groups if there's no questions.
Yeah, there's none at this time. So as long as
I'll close all these.
as long as it'll take less than a half an hour, you got it.
It'll be really short and quick because somebody was asking, somebody new to Cutters was asking, how do you add a shadow to a word? So I was trying to make a video and it wouldn't work. So I can show you that right now. If you go to text and fonts and select your font, I think I'll select a different font here because I want to cut one. Let's do, I'll just do Samantha because it's quick and easy. And I was doing one called Creative Genius. You can all be a creative genius. Click on Accept. Type any word you want with any font you want. Get it laid out the way you want with the letters as close together as you want and weld it all together to make a word or make your title or whatever you want to do with it. And then to add a shadow, you click on the shadow layer and make it the thickness that you want. You also have the option to make it blacked out or not. If I turn off the blackout, you see that the loops are open with it not blacked out. With it blacked out, they're not open. It's a solid background. So you can click on Accept and you get the shadow on a new layer, so you can change the colors to be whatever color you want. And you have a nice shadow. Now I could also do multiple shadows. Let's say that I hold Control Shift and click on that. I have this I can do again. What if I wanted multiple shadow layers? I can select the whole text. I go to Edit, Duplicate, and Nested Duplicate. And here again, you can make your gap as big or little as you want, and you have the option to do blackout or not. If I keep my gap at 8.08, I can get up to 4. They look pretty nice. You can set your colors to be whatever you'd like, and then maybe I want it to be lighter. I can define a custom color and make it even lighter if I want. So you can have 2 different total colors, and then you can click Preview to see what it's going to look like. And if you like that effect, you can Accept. And now we have a background. If I make this one, sometimes I like to make the one on top to be black just so that I can see it better. So I have the original, then I have a layer that has some holes in it here, and this one is still 2 separate pieces here with a hole in it. The next one is actually got the pieces welded together, and then there's the background, so I can undo this and get them all stacked up, and you can get some really nice effects by layering your text, and then you can add this to other designs. The other thing that we can do, this was another question that was asked, was we can do an inset shadow. So let's just, I'll go into basic shapes and find something. Maybe we could do I'll just do one of these 7-point stars. And we can add a shadow to shapes just the same. And we can give it an outside shadow, or if we put a minus in front of it, we can get an inset shadow. We can make it the shadow rounded, mitered, or beveled. In this case, it doesn't make much difference, but I can accept. And now, I'll use my green mat so you can see. I've got the original shape, and then I've got a shape that is smaller, perfectly the same size. Now, if I want to, I can take that outside line and do a very big shadow. Say we'll make it a positive number. Let's say we'll make it a 0.2. And notice that since I have it rounded, it gives me an effect of a flower. So you can make a flower from a star simply by creating a shadow that's got rounded edges. So we have many options in this software. In our nested duplicates, we can do the same thing. We can create either duplicate by size or duplicate by shadowing and get totally different effects. And I showed those last week. So any questions about making shadows?
No questions on that. Thanks for the quick demo on the shadowing. Again, if anybody has a microphone that would like to be unmuted to ask a question or make a comment, click on the little raise hand icon, and we'll unmute you. Or if you have any questions, type them in now. But Julie, I'd like to thank you for doing those demos today. That helped out. And Susan was helping in the background, so thank you, Susan.
Yes, thanks. And thanks, Brian.
Yep. Okay, so I don't see any hands raised, so I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.